I don't see the
Ray, go
latency
ahead.
as
Yeah.
an issue. I don't see the latency as an issue. I mean, if it's a 2 millisecond up and 2 millisecond down per, text spiel or whatever, it's just, it's not, it takes longer than do that to think really and to come up with some prompt responses, lots
Yeah.
longer. I mean,
We're saying the same thing there. Like,
Yeah, well,
again,
and I actually agree with you
yeah.
on that, because if you send a big enough cluster of GPUs up there so that you can do all of the processing on one satellite instead of having it have to be distributed out among multiple satellites, then you overcome the latency of local access. And then the only latency you worry about is the sort of transactional latency with the customer. And frankly, I agree with you that I can wait another half second for the S lady to tell me, what is on my calendar today, right? I mean, that's okay. Like, I can totally wait for that. Because the problem is, though, if you're trying to make a fleet of these as a single cluster, then you start getting a latency between devices, and then that causes all sorts of problems.
they're using optical lasers between devices, and there's certainly not 300 or 400 kilometers or 600 kilometers between devices. They're within, the sun catcher thing is within like 80 kilometers or something like that. They're 8,000 or 80,000 satellites or something. So
I would say, Ray, I'll use the same argument with you. Don't assume that's going to be a fixed constraint, because free space optics actually does better without going through fiber and are more performant in space. And those distances will increase with improvements in the technology. Ground to satellite and satellite to satellite. So,
And so that's there are probably, we can overcome the latency question. The
he
radiation
just conceded a
reliability
point, Ray. He just
shielding
conceded a point.
question. Okay, so what about radiation reliability and shielding? What about the fact that if you are going to send H100, you got to encase it
you
in
got
lead?
two choices here. You put lead shielding in these puppies to shield them from cosmic rays, or you use redundancy or you use rad powered parts. Now, for most parts, rad powered parts aren't going to cut it, except for this TPU trillium. But if you want to put shielding, you can put lead shielding in space, just more mass, more costs, or you put redundancy. You put three of these puppies in there instead of one, and you compare the two, or it's not unlike what's happening today with the Hewlett Packard data center at the ISS. They use like it's three for one. They got a three server cluster, and one has to work. The shuttle had five of these puppies in there, and one had to work. So you can do redundancy. We know how to do redundancy. We've been down this path, Steve, more than I care to admit.